A little disclaimer before we get rolling here. You're about to hear some ads. They are all from local entities that want to support the baseball community. A lot of these guys have deep connections. We're players themselves, so if you see having a need for any one of these services, please go patronize these guys. Thank you. We are also brought to you by Sitco Chiropractic. They can be reached at 217-525-2035 and sitcochiropractic.com. They offer chiropractic care, corrective exercises, lifestyle advice, nutritional counseling, spinal and postural screenings. They are located at 205 North Grand Avenue. Love the Sitco family. From the dad, Steven, to Kyle and Casey, I grew up with them. Their brother Tyler was a big-time baseball player at SHG and SCI. There's a reason they have over 70 ratings on Google, and they're all 5.0. These guys are great. I went to them a few years back for some back issues I was having. They'll fix you right up. Go see Sitco Chiropractic. We are also brought to you by Sheehan and Sheehan Lawyers, located at 1215 South 4th Street, Suite A. They can be contacted at 217-544-0701. I'm talking Pat Sr., Pat Jr., and Willie. They can be contacted for adoption needs, agricultural law, business and commercial law, estate planning, real estate planning, taxation, traffic and minor traffic offenses, personal injury, wrongful death suits. And I grew up with Willie playing baseball on the Southwest Braves. We were state champs. He played high school baseball and soccer at SHG. Pat Jr. was an accomplished baseball player at SHG, SCI, and finally the U of I. We really appreciate the Sheens here. Love this guy. Love this family. Great, great family. So go see these guys. Appreciate you. We are also brought to you by Matt Brewer. Matt is an attorney here in town at the law offices of Stephen Kelly. Matt exclusively practices in the areas of personal injury and workers' compensation. He can be reached at 217-544-8000 or mbrewer@stephenkelly.com. I loved competing against this guy growing up. He was an SHG grad, 2002, stud in football and baseball. Went on to star for Dan Callahan at SIU Carbondale and then had a one-year career pitching in the Diamondbacks organization. I ran into this guy the other day. He looks like he could still lace him up. We appreciate you, Matt. We are also brought to you by Cardinal Cleaning. They can be reached at cardinalcleaningonline.com and 217-679-6567. The owner-operator, Adam Springer, local baseball dude, family friend, stand out at Chatham Glenwood in the mid-'90s. Also had a stellar career at Rend Lake and Kentucky Wesleyan. Cardinal Cleaning can take care of any cleaning needs you have. Home, business, restaurant, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you need, they can take care of you. Get a hold of Cardinal Cleaning. They'll do the rest. Dusty Bensko, we are back.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we're back. This is the Post-Game Spread podcast. It's the same night. I just broke it up for the sake of we were getting about 2 hours here, so we're going to finish off here the second part here with Dusty Bensko. He just finished his senior year of at U of I, absolutely balled out, had the kind of year that one would expect of Dusty Bensko if you knew him growing up. We are seniors, so not exactly put into the best place leverage-wise when it comes to draft, when it comes to money. Teams know they can get you for pennies on the dollar because you have no other options. What's going on after that season? Are you being talked to during the season by scouts? Are they telling you things? What's going on here, bud?
So I had some communication with some teams. Some teams gave me some target rounds, like 20 to 30, 10 to 20, and it was just so I felt like I was going to get drafted, and I once again, kind of like high school, expected I was going to get drafted, but I had a little bit more of a sense that I would this time, and I thought it would be late, one of the later rounds. Now they have way less rounds. Back then, I think there was like 50 rounds. So
there were, yeah.
I thought at some point, like, all right, I'm going to get picked.
Sure.
I was offered a contract. I played better, so I would assume, and like signability isn't really a question. Like I've got nothing else to do. So like
Right.
you said, that hurts you like how much money you're going to get.
Yeah,
but it helps you with like, I'm going to sign. So,
right.
And then it was part of two, like, there was just something like about getting drafted that I really wanted to know if it was like checking a box, like,
Totally.
but I think
Yeah.
that was part of why I went back too. Like, um, I just wanted to be drafted for
Yeah.
whatever reason. It's something
Yeah.
I always dreamed of and something I wanted. I saw guys around me growing up, the great players around here do it, and it's just
Sure.
something that I
It's
was
part of the
hoping to
journey.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is,
absolutely.
and something I wanted. So, I thought I would be, and then different plans.
Yeah. So the draft comes and goes. Are you? I mean, how are we feeling? I mean, are you feeling snubbed, or is your heart broken at this point? How are we feeling?
Yeah, disappointed. I've never like even high school, I never felt snubbed.
Okay.
It's just not. I don't know. I was disappointed.
Hmm.
I thought I could play at that level, but I played or knew some guys that were like a little bit bitter about not getting their chance. So it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it was something that I always wanted to make sure that I never was. Like if I got my chance, I was going to go for it. If I didn't get it, I would definitely be disappointed, but
Sure.
never going to be like, oh, they didn't like this, or if I would have done this, they would have. So I always tried to stay away from that. But I was 100% Blake, disappointed.
Yeah.
And like for me, like that was it. I was done. So
Done.
I was done. So and then I remember I went to my sister's softball game.
Hmm.
She was probably 12, so I'm 10 years older than her. She was playing some softball, Josie, and I got a phone call at the game from the Minnesota Twins to sign a free agent contract. So
How are
I
you feeling
was,
when you get that call, bud?
oh, dude, so pumped up. I was like, I'll pay you guys to come play. I'll pay for my own plane ticket. I'll
Yeah.
do whatever it takes. So yeah, I was thrilled just to get the chance and have the opportunity. Because like I said, I was really done. It was like just disappointment after disappointment with like and not meeting my own expectation for myself. So I was just kind of over it in all honesty, and
Yeah.
was gonna just be done after college, which is fine.
Sure.
Um, but which is fine. But so I'm happy that I got the call and got that chance.
Yeah. The dream gets to continue here. So the Twins call
Yeah,
you. They offer you a free agent deal. Is there any money, or you just sign
I turned $25,000, Blake, into $500. So is that good investment? I'm a PE teacher, so help me out. Like, did
that?
I do well on my investment there?
That is
I bet
terrific,
I
man.
bet on myself. Did I win? No, but yeah, that's what it was. So, and
That
listen,
is
like I said, I would have
terrific.
paid them. So
Yeah.
$500. I think I
Sure.
still have I think it cleared like $271
Sure.
after taxes, something like that.
Okay.
Uh,
So so they're signing you? Are they sending you right away? What are we
yeah,
doing?
so I go straight. So I sign, and they fly me down to Florida,
Okay.
to Fort Myers with extended spring training.
Oh, cool.
So
Cool. Yeah.
I'm down there with guys that are waiting for rookie ball to start. Like all the
Yeah.
low A through
Yep.
triple A guys are gone. So I'm down there with guys that have been there since like March, and
Yeah.
they're just hating their life down there.
Yeah. That can be
Uh,
baseball purgatory for guys that don't
oh
know when it's
man,
extended.
it's a grind down there. It was so we went for like 10 days before they sent us to our locations, and
Uh
it's
huh.
it's 110 degrees. You're outside all day.
Hmm.
Um, so I went down there, and then you work out, kind of feel out the system. You meet your coaching staff,
Hmm.
and then you get on a bus and they drive you to your level. And I went to so there was rookie ball in Fort Myers, but I went to rookie ball in the Appalachian League in Elizabethton, Tennessee.
Yep. I see that
So
right here. Yep.
yeah, so that's where I got to go. So I played with a few big. Matt Garza was on that team,
I saw that. Yep.
big league pitcher. So he signed for a little bit more than I did. He was a first round pick, so just a little bit of separation or a signing bonus. I told
Yeah.
him he'd have to buy if we ever went out, so it wasn't going to be me. And
What
then
was
yeah, we
your?
had like
Yeah. Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I
No,
was just
you
gonna.
go.
No, please roll. I was just gonna say, what was your experience in rookie ball, man? Just your first pro
Yeah,
ball. Like, take me there. Let's go.
yeah. You know what's crazy is like there's some dudes out there, but like rookie ball really had like that college summer league feel to it.
Oh man.
So like not saying that rookie ball is easy. I'm not saying that because like my stats will show it wasn't easy, but it's
Hmm.
just got that same vibe to it. You got some guys are with host families. I was an older, I'm playing with guys that are from the
Eight.
Dominican Republic and they're 16 and
Yeah.
an 18-year-old high school kid. So I'm 22. So I'm like the grandpa of the team. So
Right.
me and a few of the other older guys, we got an apartment, but a lot of those younger guys are staying with host families, and so it's really similar to college baseball, and you're traveling in this local area of like East Tennessee, North Carolina,
Hmm.
um, you know, and like I've always been a fan of baseball, so it was actually fun for me to be like, oh, this guy's the first round pick for the Astros this year.
Sure.
And I'm playing against them, and
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
so it was a fun season. We actually won the league. Uh, we had a good team. Like 4 or 5 of our pitchers major leagues at some point, with Matt
Yeah, I saw
Garza
that.
being the best. Matt Garza being the best one, but there were some other guys that were really good. Our position guys, I don't think any of them made it to the major leagues, but some good players though for sure.
Let's see. I'm looking at the roster here. Kevin Slowly, Johan Pino,
Yeah. Yep.
Brian. How are we saying this? Doing
Dun
sing.
Dunsing.
Yep. Armando Gabino
Yep.
and Matt Garza all played in the show. So 5
Yeah.
pitchers on
It's
that
crazy.
roster made it to the show.
Yep.
That is crazy, man. And
And then
you kind of downplayed your stats, but I'm looking here. I mean, I think it's a solid year. 38 games, 122 at bats, 6 bombs, 7 doubles, batted 270 here, slugged 475. I mean, 816 OPS. I mean, you certainly look like you belonged, at least from the stats
yeah, yeah.
perspective.
I felt like I did too. Of course, like being older helped me.
Yeah,
I think that definitely helped. And then like one of my best friends from college, Toby Gardenhire, whose
so he
dad
was there
is
too.
yeah, so he played on my team and was a great teammate, and just we lived together, spring
Mhm.
training together the next spring. So yeah, I felt like I could play at that level.
For sure.
And it was a good a good summer. So, and what's one thing that's nice that the Twins did in rookie ball was like they gave me a chance to play.
Yeah.
That's like I feel like I got to play a lot, especially as a free agent signing. I've got like a second round draft pick on my team, and I'm getting maybe just 20 less at bats than him. So that's
Oh,
something that I uh, really valued with the Twins that they did and my
yeah.
manager did, which I really appreciated because not everybody's going to get that chance. So I'm happy I got it.
All right, man. So solid. Really, I think a solid first year, and it's really not uncommon for guys to come in their first year in pro ball and really scuffle with switching to wood bats and seeing more explosive pitching and velocity and movement. But you really hung in there and did well and showed you belonged. What does the offseason look like for you after your first year in pro ball?
Yeah, sure. So I come home. Well, I've got to go back to school to do my internship for my degree.
Hmm.
So I'm living in Champaign, working out with the baseball team, lifting with the baseball team,
Cool.
um, and then my doing my internship, and then I come back in December and start to hit at the hitting center with Clive Oliver. You know Clive at all?
Of course, yeah.
He really helped me that off season and worked with me, um, just working on my swing to kind of take it to the next level and really.
Was there anything or specifically that you felt like you needed to work on hitting wise after that first year?
Yeah, for me, staying like just using my lower half a little bit better, and
Hmm.
just like getting the lower half to work before my hands a little bit,
Okay.
just a little bit. So it was something that Clive really worked on me with and made me. I felt like I was in a good spot heading into spring training. So I'd work at the hitting center, and then they'd let me come in early and hit, and
Cool.
really took care of me, which
Yeah.
was good. And he was a good dude to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, so we're working out. We're getting ready. Our second year in pro ball. This is going to be your first like true kind of spring training, right? Your
Yep.
first spring, yeah,
Yeah.
because you went to
So
extended the year
I
before.
just went to yeah, so like I was kind of in a bubble. I went to extended, then I went straight to rookie ball with just my 25 guys.
Hmm.
So you're kind of in this bubble um that you don't really know what pro ball really is until you
Sure.
step out on the field this for spring training that first day. And it's can be a rude awakening. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear about your first spring training, what that experience was
Yeah,
like.
sure. Sure. So, like, man, it's a rude awakening. So yeah, I was in my bubble of spring training, of rookie ball with my guys, and we
Yeah,
all go down to spring training, and then you walk on the field for spring training the first day, and there's 150 guys out there, and you're like,
yeah,
what the hell? Who are all these guys? What happened to my 25 teammates? And and I'm seeing these 16-year-old kids that are hitting the ball 450 feet, and like, I'm not joking, Blake. Like, I told you, like, I had some self-doubt, but I always had hope. Like, all right, I got a shot.
yeah.
I can still maybe make it. Spring training, uh, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't. Maybe I
Really
don't. Just
interesting.
it was just a different level. So
You were
I
seeing so
kind
much
of
talent.
yeah, I kind of felt what was coming. I was old, I was
Yeah,
by that time 23, maybe gonna go to low A. So you just
yeah.
kind of see like I
The
look
writing's on the
around,
wall.
I don't see anybody with my story. I don't see any, 23-year-old low A players. Like, could it happen? Of course, but you kind of see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
But spring training, yeah, it was a great experience. I got Ruben Sierra played with us one time.
Oh, cool.
He batted third for us every inning. So every every inning that man batted third. So he went like, I got one at bat. Ruben Sierra is like 3 for 9. uh, then
That,
I played first base one inning for Joe Nathan was the closer, so like
okay.
all-star closer Joe Nathan,
Yeah.
and you know
Nasty.
my dad's at the game talking to Joe Nathan's wife, and my dad's asking her, "Where did your husband play last year?" She goes, "Minnesota." He goes, "I know. They're all on the Twins. Where did he play? Like, rookie ball." She's like, "Minnesota," and he like walked away in frustration. And then after the game, I was like, "That's the the all-star
Yeah.
MLB closer's wife." So he was
He's
so
making
mad at
10
her.
mil. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, he's doing okay, and he actually did play in Minnesota last year. So yeah, but yeah,
That,
it was cool. Like, it just it shows you the talent that's out there.
yeah.
Like being a guy that wanted to coach too. Like I like learning about the drills and what spring training is and kind of that stuff, just to kind of take with me and
Yeah.
learn. Learn from
Was
some of those coaches.
has coaching has that always been on your radar about something you'd want to do later on in life?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It was always it's why I wanted to teach, was
Hmm.
to continue to help kids and to coach. So
Yeah.
I always made sure when I was playing to, and I think part of it too is I played for great coaches.
Hmm.
You know, my dad and his friends gave a ton of time to us. Coach Greer, Coach Cameron, Coach Watson, my coaches at Illinois, worked their butt off, and playing for good coaches makes you want to stay involved. So
Oh,
it was
well
something I
said.
paid attention to,
Well said.
especially in that spring training. Just paying attention to what they're doing, how they're running the practice,
Sure.
just so I could take it with me as I uh, moved out of baseball.
Yeah. Beautiful. So, did we make it out of spring training?
Oh, no. It's a
We did
great
not.
story.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna tell the full story on the podcast. I'll tell the
Okay.
full story in person once. But,
Okay.
so yeah. So I got released the last day of spring training.
Oh man.
All my bags and everything were on the bus to go to Wisconsin. So I had to,
Oh
like
no.
I got yeah, it was rough. I got called in, got released, had to go on, get my stuff off the bus, and then come back in. So there's just no easy way to do it,
There's
there's
not,
no.
man.
And
It
it's not it
hurts.
wasn't just it yeah, it hurt, and, yeah, it sucked. But, like, lots of guys had gone through it too, and you see them go through it, and,
Yeah.
like, when it happened to me, it was in the evening, and, like, my teammates were so I had to go back to the hotel, and I didn't get to fly out till that morning.
Hmm.
So my teammates were the guys in the organization were so good to me, and they made a terrible moment a moment that I'll remember, just with how
Oh
good of people they were. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it sucked, but it happens. So,
It
uh,
does.
it was hard. Like, I kept it together till I called my dad and told him
Yeah.
that I got released, and that's when I
Oh yeah.
I lost it because that's
I
like the dream is dead right there. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
It is.
So
Yeah.
you just feel like it's dead. So it
I
was tough.
I totally get it, man. I got released a few times in indie ball, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. And just getting that
Yeah.
call, like Skip wants to see you, you're like, oh no, this is
Well, yeah.
not gonna go
It's
well.
like I looked at my buddy. I go, I don't think they're promoting me to the big leagues. So this can't be good. If they want to talk to me, it's not a promotion.
All right, man. So you have been Dusty Bensko, the world beater baseball player your whole life. Now it's looking like things are changing. How are we feeling, man? I mean, I imagine for me at least, baseball was my identity. It was who I was, and it was very hard for me when it was over, and I had to kind of pick up pieces and figure out who I was. And what was that experience like for you? I know it's not totally the end because we got a little indie ball still to
Yeah.
talk about, but how are you feeling after this, man? What were you thinking?
Yeah, man. Like you nailed it. Just what you said. It's like it's such a party. It's who you are,
Deeply.
and like for me, and then for me too, a little bit before. It's also like what others expect you to be too. So that plays a part in it too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Like
you're
you're letting
kind
people
of
down.
like I was like to me, I was supposed to be a major leaguer from Pleasant Plains, the
Yeah.
only one ever, and you kind like I just felt like I let people down. Everybody, like my
Yeah.
mom, my dad, friends, Coach
Hmm.
Greer. Like even though as a 40-year-old, I know I didn't,
Right.
but I felt like I did, and
I totally
that
get
was
that.
actually the harder part for me. Like I can handle me, I can handle, but it's how I felt like I
Yeah.
was just letting some others down. But yeah,
Sure. And
and
it's
then
like
it's like,
everyone supported you, and your whole
yeah,
career, and like it was about Dusty Bensko getting to the next level. Dusty Bensko is going to be a big leaguer.
yep,
And then
and it was
yeah.
hard, but and then was too. It was like I am a baseball player. That's what I
Yeah.
do. And it's like, now what?
Who am I now? Right.
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 Seriously, it's like
Yeah. I mean. Yeah.
everything I did in my life was to try to be a
Yeah.
big league baseball player, and I
Yeah.
mean, I wasn't anywhere close to accomplishing it, but you're still trying to, so it's kind of like, what do I
Yeah.
do now? So yeah,
Right.
you nailed it.
It's the process. It's you're lifting. You're reading. You're
Yeah.
trying to be a better baseball player. You're not making stupid decisions because you want to play baseball. All these things, and now it's like,
Yep.
now what do I do?
Yep.
So what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not done. I remember, man, I cold called, I think, every major league team. I didn't have an agent. When you sign for $500, nobody's asking to be your agent. So
Yeah. Nobody wants
like
4% of that.
no, right. Like if you're a guy that gets drafted in the fifth round, you've got an agent and your agent's calling the
Yeah.
Cubs and the A's. So the Twins, like this is so ridiculously old school. Like when they released me, they handed me a list of every MLB team and their front office number. So I
Really?
called yeah, it was so crazy now that I think about it. I called everyone on that list. No one, no interest because like
Yeah.
when you get released the last day is not that they'd have had interest in me anyways, but there's not a worse day to get released than the
Yeah.
last
All
day
the
of spring
rosters are
training.
set. Yeah. The
Every
rosters are
roster
set.
set. So not and like I said, not that I would have had a roster spot anyways. Yeah, so and then I'm like, all right, what's next? So I'm like, I'm gonna play independent ball.
Hmm.
I want to play. I want to keep playing. I still have that little hope, like, all right, I can go there, I can do this, I can get back.
Yeah.
I want to still play.
That's the dream.
So one of my buddies that I played with for the Twins, he also got released, and then he knew a guy out in uh, God, the American Association, maybe I can't remember what league it was.
Yeah.
For
It's are you talking about the league that you were in?
yes, I can't even remember
Can-Am.
the Can-Am League, and it was with
Yep.
the North Shore team, and they were
Yep.
really good.
Hmm.
Beautiful turf field, great owner, great coach. And so I went to spring training so I got released, had like a month, went to spring training with them,
Hmm.
um, played a few exhibition games, didn't play the first game, sat the pinch hit, got hit by a pitch, and then I just was like in the dugout and I'm like, I'm done. I don't know what it was.
Really? So
Yeah, I
I
was
gotta
like,
pause. I gotta pause you
I'm
real
like,
quick. Let me
go
pause you
ahead.
real quick because Greer specifically said for me to ask you about this. He said, "Ask
Yeah,
Dusty about his last at bat." So
yeah.
here we are.
No, yeah, I think it was bases loaded. I come in and I pinch hit off the bench, and I get drilled right in my left tricep, jog down to first base, and that's it. I never got hit much as a player. It might have been like my only hit by pitch
Yeah.
in like 3 years. So,
Really?
but yeah, and then I get after the game and I don't know why. I'm just like I just knew, like, I don't know. Like, I know some guys, like, I've had some buddies that it they never had, like, that moment, but for
Yeah.
me, it's like, "Alright, I'm good. I've I've chased it for a little bit." Um, I think it was, like it was a relief to be done too. Like, I
Oh
just
yeah, I
kinda
totally get that.
got it, "Alright, like, it's off my chest. I've done it.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about being that guy for anybody or for myself. I'm done, and it's over, and it's like I had a great run, and but
Man.
it was still hard to get to move on from it for sure. Because like we talked about, like, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
From the time I was 6 until the time I was 23, that's what I was gonna be.
That
So, it was
sounds
like, "Now
so
what?"
mature of you to have this perspective in this moment that hey, I've had enough and I'm over this pressure and it's not taking me where I think I used, it's not taking me to the big leagues and you were able to walk away. And did you feel okay in that moment
I
to
did,
walk
yeah.
away from the game? Yeah.
I did, yeah. I mean, it just felt like it was the right time, like, um, to me, I just felt like I wanted to play Major League Baseball, and,
Yeah.
like, what I was doing right there wasn't gonna get me there, so I was ready to move on and just kinda really was like a relief to be done,
Right.
as weird as that says, like,
I totally
um,
get it.
I just kinda did it, and for me, and it felt I was ready.
At peace.
Yes.
That's
Took a
cool.
while, come on.
I
It
bet.
took a
Oh man.
while,
Oh man.
you
Yeah.
know, that was the moment that, like, started me towards it, you know? So
Yeah. So I got to ask you one question. I found one blip on uh on the internet when I was
mm,
deep diving that said, were you signed with the Windy City Thunderbolts in 2007 for like a second, but you never played
I
with them? Like,
was,
did they
but
have
I
your
didn't
rights or
play, yeah.
something?
They probably
How'd that?
still do. No, I think it was another buddy that was, like, asked me if I was interested in playing, and
Hmm.
I was like, I'll sign, and then let's see how
How it
it
feels.
goes in the spring," and then I think I had just finished up my teaching and was gonna student teach. So I went back to school. I got my first degree in sport management, went back to become a teacher,
Hmm.
um, and then I was like, "Alright, I'm not gonna do it." But I think that
Yeah.
I'd signed with them just, contract, but never
Sure.
played again.
Okay. Man, baseball is over
Now
for
I
the great
just
Dusty Bensko. Crazy, man. All right. So then
yeah.
from from here, you're pursuing, like you just said, your teaching certificate. You're going to be a teacher. Is that accurate?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
saw
so
that you
I'm a teaching coach.
teaching coach.
No, go ahead.
You did you coached for the Sliders for a summer.
I did, it was great, yeah, so I graduated from Illinois, teaching certificate at Western Illinois, so
Hmm.
I had the summer off, and the Rifles had just transitioned to being the Sliders.
Right.
So I just emailed the coach, Ryan Sawyers, and I said, "Hey, I played baseball in college. I'm interested in coaching this summer. I don't need to make very much money at all. I want to be around the game. I want to
Hmm.
be a high school coach. I think this is a great opportunity."
Yeah.
And he I don't know why. So, he just hired me,
Yeah.
and I had a great summer. I mean, I don't know if you were around the Rifles and all that summer, they were or the Sliders, they sell out crowds,
Really.
unbelievable atmosphere for Springfield baseball. The team was great, um, won the league,
That's
good
cool.
players to cheer for. So it was great to get back in the game in that way and see those guys, like, chasing what I was chasing just a couple
Yeah.
years prior,
I know. And so
and, you know,
I read this.
kinda help them out a little bit.
Yeah. I read this article on you about when you were on the Sliders, and you were only a year or two older than some of these guys, weren't you?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Not far
So I
removed.
was
So
yeah,
that's
I think I
interesting.
was yeah, so I think I was maybe 20. 24, and these guys are 19 to 22. So
Yeah,
uh, I really, it was good for me to just kind of get back in the game. And like, you leave baseball, sometimes you're a little mad at it, that
100%. I went
you
through that
wanted
myself.
to. You're, mad at myself, but I'm also like, I'm over baseball. And then
Mhm.
as I matured and got a little bit older, and like that was kind of like the first step towards it. Like, all right, I do love this game, and I always
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
I was mad at it for a little bit, but
yeah.
um, we'll get back. So that was what was really sliders. And like
I
I
love
said,
that.
Ryan Sawyer's, man, hired me and really took me under his wing as a coach, and it was a fun summer.
I love it, man. I love that you've come full circle, and now you were coaching high school for a while, and now you're coaching your little girls and staying involved in the game in some capacity. It's such a magical game, man. It helped grow us up and teach us all these lessons along the way, and it really sounds like looking back that you can smile on a lot of these moments that you had on your career and all these like really special moments that you had, and that makes me happy. I had no idea where you were at with any of this. I didn't know if Dusty Bensko was bitter at baseball or how you look back on this, but it's so in line with how everyone talked about you and how mature you are. And man, it makes me happy just that you have all these great memories of baseball and all this coming up and your planes and all that. It's really cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, thanks. It was nice talking about it. I've never talked about it ever, just small pieces. So
Right.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah, I had the opportunity to go on a buddy's podcast and tell my story. I had a kind of very winding story, and it was very cathartic for me, and it was nice to get some of these memories out and kind of like really look back on it and smile. And that kind of was one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast. And I think there's a lot of life lessons that baseball teaches you along the way as well. So um, I'd like to get to a fun thing here, some questions here for a sec, some fun baseball questions, but I totally skipped over all my Joey Alvesmeyer quotes, and I'm not going to let this podcast
Let's
end
hear him.
without
Yeah.
dude. He absolutely killed it. I'm going to have him on as like a guest at some point. But
Nice.
all right, man, Joey really, yeah, you got a big fan in Joey. Here we go. He said we really caught lightning in a bottle as that group out there in Plains. Talking about the talent. He said you guys grew up riding bikes, playing sports together, and everyone was very close. Everyone's house was close. Dusty was the biggest, the best, but also the hardest worker, and he pushed everyone else to be great. So there's a lot of quotes here, so just buckle up. Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
You had to keep up. He set the tone and he set the tone in pace of practice, and I really thought that was cool because you talked about how much of a leader you were, and like you led in a way like you weren't a jerk, but you certainly set the tone, and everyone knew what they had to keep up with to you know obviously push winning forward, and you just really set the pace there. Say comparable to Michael Jordan in the last dance in terms of his will to win. But he said you weren't like a sociopath like MJ. You did it in inappropriate ways. So quite the nod. He
Yeah.
said we were all there to win, and it started with him. Let's see. As kids, Dusty was the first one who was practicing and working, while the rest of us were throwing rocks and being kids. That one made me chuckle.
Yeah.
He said you had a pitching rubber in your backyard and you were always on it. Um,
It's
said it was
true.
really easy. Yeah, said it was really easy to take for granted how dominant you were. It seemed like every game you went 4 for 4 with 4 doubles, and that's just the way it was. But looking back now, he sees how special it was. Dusty was huge on prep work and would organize all the other players on the team for like little informal practices before games and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool to hear. He was the hardest worker, but not in a selfish way. It was all about the team. Winning was everything, and that goes so in line with everything that you've said here today, Dusty. Like you keep referencing back to your team and winning and culture, and pretty cool, man. That was one other thing I wanted to say. So I already had a ton of respect for you, as a person and as a baseball player before I, did all these interviews and really kind of looked deeply into your career. And I have 10 times more respect for you now after talking to all these people and talking to you, man. You were just a stand-up guy through and through, a winner, a champion all the way through. And it's been really special for me to talk to you here and go through your career with you, bud.
Thanks, Blake. I appreciate you. I had
Yep.
a lot of fun doing it, man. It's a lot of good people, and I really appreciate you doing this and taking the time, and I look forward to hearing everybody else you have on too. So it's
Yeah.
a great thing you're doing for everybody.
Well, thanks, buddy. I've got a couple more Joey Alsmeyer quotes.
Let's
I got to
hear
get
it.
through
Let's
them.
hear it.
All right. Dusty always
I'm
found a
ready.
way to Dusty always found a way to motivate himself, like Michael Jordan. He would create slights or reasons to focus on other players on other teams that you didn't like. Like even if there was nothing there, you would create something, kind of like we saw MJ do, just to motivate yourself. It cannot be overstated how dominant he was from start to finish, just doing things others couldn't do. We were all in awe. He says something that most people wouldn't know is that you were at times the fastest guy on the basketball team, and that was really kind of a testament to you, rebuilding your body and really committing to, conditioning and your diet. And he said following him made us all better. So that's the end of my Joey Alsmeyer quotes there. You got a big fan of Joey. I'm a big fan of Joey as well. Now
Me too. Good
right.
person.
Yeah. So before we get into the baseball questions, can you tell us a little bit about what life is like now for Dusty Bensko?
Yeah, sure. So I'm living in Chicago with my wife, Leanne. I teach PE and driver's ed at Evanston Township High. My wife, and she's a pediatrician at Northwestern Children's Practice in the city. And then I've got a 10-year-old daughter in fourth grade, Ella, 7-year-old first grader, Ruthie, 3-year-old, Kate. And like I said, I coach Ella and Ruthie softball and basketball. And so I transitioned from coaching other people's kids to coaching my own kids right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm going to transition back to coaching other people's, hopefully one day soon.
Is that the plan once
But
the girls grow up a little bit?
yeah, once they get a little bit older, I'll go back to coaching some high school baseball. That's the plan.
Yeah, I love it, man. All right. We're going to end with some fun baseball questions. We've been through all the hard stuff. I've already asked you what is the best baseball movie of all time. You said Field of Dreams. Number 2, what is the best baseball video game of all time? If you played baseball video games growing up.
RBI baseball.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
On the Nintendo, the original. I was always the AL. If I didn't hit a home run with Tim Raines, I would reset the Nintendo and start the game over.
That is amazing.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Your favorite bat of all time, both metal and wood. Model, make.
So Easton Red Line 3429.
Oh,
Drop
baby.
5.
The -5 big barrels.
Oh man, those bats could do some damage. And then the wood bat for me is just Louisville Slugger T141.
I like
Unfinished.
T141s too, buddy. Yeah.
That was
Nice
my
balanced
favorite.
bat.
I just like that. Yes, it was balanced. So
Yep.
I would choke up. I really like that bat though.
That's awesome. All right. Favorite field or couple fields that you ever played at?
Man, that's a tough one. Whew. I played in Battle Creek, Michigan at their minor league field when we were with the Statesmen. We were probably 14, 15. It was probably just like a low A field, but it was one of the first fields like that that we ever played on in Battle Creek. And then at Mississippi State, like not the field isn't incredible or it's well kept, but just that atmosphere.
Yeah.
They're grilling in the left field.
Yeah.
They took my mom and sister. They invited my mom and sister out with them when they were grilling. So those two are probably the best experiences with fields.
I love it. All right. Best teammate.
Oh
I know it's
man,
a tough one. Yeah.
that's a tough one. Pass.
Funniest teammate.
That
Joey is hilarious
Alsmeyer.
because I was gonna say Joey is my funniest teammate of all time.
Yeah, he's hilarious, and he still is. He
absolutely is. I need to give him credit on this show because I have bounced so many ideas off him, and he's been there just like listening to me since I started this. So shout out, Joey.
Nice.
You've got a fan in both of us. Yep. All right. Most talented guy you ever played with?
Man, these are so hard. PJ Finnegan.
Sorry. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. Can't go wrong
Just
with
like
PJ.
he could just yeah. Missouri Valley Conference shortstop, first team. Missouri Valley Conference pitcher. So like just and another great guy too. So a
Yeah.
lot of but hard worker and just
Oh yeah.
could play.
I've got PJ lined up to come on here at some point as well, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice, yeah,
Oh
that'll be
yeah.
a great one.
Oh yeah. All right, man. I guess I am giving you hard ones. Sorry. All right. Let's
No,
just
no, it's
say
okay.
one or two of your favorite coaches or managers you ever played for.
Yeah, for me, it's Coach Greer,
Sure.
and then uh, another baseball coach. I liked. I really enjoyed my time with Kyle DeEduardo. So he was my coach in Alaska when I was terrible, and then asked me to come back. But he just had my back. He would just have your back. And he was
Yeah.
a good coach. He doesn't coach anymore. He went to like insurance, so it's a shame because he was a great coach too.
Lost a good one. All
Yeah.
right. What age would you say you fell in love with the game of baseball at?
Man, young, 4 or 5.
Oh
So I
yeah.
remember, yeah, throwing to my dad in the yard when I was like 4 or 5, thinking I was Roger Clemens. So that's like my first memory. So
And are you a big Cubs guy? Is that what you said?
Cubs, yeah, Cubs fan.
So who are a couple of your favorite players coming up?
Mark Grace,
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
Sandberg,
Yeah.
like that was my wheelhouse time. So my mom's license plate
Classic.
is actually Rhino 23.
Is it
That's her
really?
license. Yeah,
That's amazing.
RYNO 23. Yeah.
I love that.
So big
All
Cubs
right.
family in our house.
Love it. What's you ever make it out to any games?
Yeah, we live a walk to Wrigley.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, we live so I tell my girls all the time, like, if you knew how awesome 10-year-old me would have thought it was to live a
Right.
mile from Wrigley Field, like, to me, Wrigley Field was like,
Yeah.
this place, the castle that you couldn't get to, and, like, for my kids, it's just, "Oh, we're walking by Wrigley today." It's a different
That's
life. So, yeah, we go a few times a year. So,
that's cool.
my mom and sister and dad will come up because 'cause they're all big Cubs fans, and we'll normally go to a game or a few games.
All right. All right. What was the best or most fun year you had in baseball?
Uh, for me, 2000, just
Yeah.
winning the state championship in high school. Just
Yeah.
like I
Magical.
said, just yeah, it was magical. Like we had no business winning that game in that inning, and it was with my buddies that I've known for forever. So that was it.
All right. Hardest year in baseball.
Two Probably 2002, my freshman year. Just some of the struggles I talked time really,
Hmm.
and just doubt myself. So that was a really really hard year.
Got it. All right. Most memorable game you ever played in or best game of your life?
With the 2000 state championship game,
Yeah.
just like that game was so incredible that being down, coming back, doing it against a team that was so good, finding a way to get a few outs. But like I said, if I could just play one inning over and over again, it would be that inning in that game.
I love it,
And
man.
I
All
struck
right.
out in it, and I struck out in it. So,
I know that's ironic. All right. Did you have any pregame rituals or superstitions that were interesting?
oh man, not. I mean, I had a Snickers and Mountain Dew before every game in high school, which might explain why I weighed 230, 240. Uh, But in college, I would like on our last sprint, I'd run in the outfield. For some reason, I would slide. I think with one game I tripped and like had to slide and we won. So I'm like, I'm sliding every game. And then you know how it is. You get hot and then so that was it.
Yeah.
I'd get a
All right.
grass stain on my pants.
Love it. All right. I said these were going to be easy questions, and now the more I look at them, some of them are not so easy.
Yeah,
But
they're hard. Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, it's
Couple more
okay.
here. Couple more. I'll let you go. All right. Is there any advice you would give to 12-year-old Dusty Bensko? You know, fall in love with the game, who wants to play as long as they can, and they have dreams of being a pro.
Man, that is hard.
Just pick one or two things. Like if there's anything that stood out to you, like man, I really wish I had done this, or if something that really you think is powerful. Like let's just say,
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead. Go
For
ahead.
me, yeah, for me, just I would just tell that kid to control what he can control because I think, like when I reflect back on my career, I kind of lost sight of that.
Hmm.
that was out of my hands. I was
Yeah.
worried about putting my name in the lineup, things like that. Just take care of what you can take care of, and always. And this is why I try to teach my kids that I coach: be a great teammate.
Oh, I
If
love
you're
it.
doing those things, um, you're gonna make some great memories on the field.
That's beautiful, buddy. All right. Amongst your most successful teammates that you played with, and it could be Plains, U of I, Pro Ball, are there anything that stands out from the guys that were, moving up, that were going to be successful, that stands out that was not talent related in terms of like their mentality, habits they did, ways they carried themselves, things like that?
Oh yeah, of course. They were all hard workers. There wasn't one guy that I played with that like made it to pro ball or made it all the way to the major leagues that wasn't putting in extra work more than practice with the team. They were in the cage, when other guys weren't putting in the work. So just that stood out to me outside of talent. And then um, it's kind of cliche, but they were also all the guys I played with were good teammates and just good people.
Yeah,
And I know not all guys that make it in any field or a person that makes it in any profession. They're not all great, but the guys I played with, I was lucky that they were just good people too.
I love that, dude. All right, man. Before we get out of here, is there anyone, this is kind of a big question too, along your journey that you feel like you want to shout out and give thanks to along the way that helped you, that you haven't named yet or anything like that? And then we'll get out of here, man.
Yeah, that is a tough one too. You're good at these tough questions. I mean, I feel like I've named
You've
everyone
covered it. Yeah,
throughout.
yeah,
I hope so. If anyone
yeah,
is I missed, I hope I didn't. So all coaches, my teammates,
yeah.
all so and then the community of Pleasant Plains too played a huge part. And then
Yeah, it takes a lot of support.
um it does. And then like
Yeah.
again, shout out to all our parents for lugging me around when I had no idea how lucky I was to get lugged around and signed up for
Man, that's a
stuff.
great
And now
quote.
that now that I'm now that I'm doing it, I'm like, holy cow. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate all that they did.
Shout out to the parents. You guys are the real heroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much sacrifice. So
Yeah. Well,
you
Dusty,
just
man,
pay it, you just pay it forward.
that's the truth. This has been so incredible, man. You really took us on a journey and answered a lot of questions that I've always had about your career and wondered. And you had a really special, unique athletic career coming up. And you learned a lot about life and told us a lot about life and dropped a lot of knowledge on us. And I'm a big believer in there being nothing more valuable than time. So thank you for giving me some of yours and coming on here. And like I said, you were one of the names that I thought of when I thought of this idea. And I was like, I got to have Dusty Bensko on. He's an absolute legend. I would love to hear him just talk about his career. I hope that, I don't know how many people are going to listen to this, but I know some people are going to love it. And I hope, someday maybe your girls, your family can listen to this and really, it's just an open conversation about everything you went through, man. But thank you for taking us through your journey, your story. You're the man. I appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate you, Blake. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, brother. We will talk
All
soon.
right, man. Thanks a lot. Yep. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We're out.
See ya.
See ya.